Canasta friends, welcome to Canasta Clinic. In this video, we'll be discussing basics, tips, and strategies all about Canasta as we play on real Canasta. Our topic in this video will be all about how to protect the discard pile. Prevent your opponent from picking the pack. Please put any questions in the comments and I'll be sure to answer. If you have any suggestions on a topic or what you would have done differently during play on real Canasta, I would love hearing from you. Let's learn and grow together as Canasta players. Before we get started on our topic, please be sure to connect with me by hitting the subscribe button, hitting the bell to get notifications so you'll know when I post new videos. Give thumbs up for those videos that you enjoy and share with fellow Canasta friends to help them improve their game. And please also put comments below about anything you'd like to talk about Canasta, any questions, suggestions, or topics. Thank you for always engaging with me by putting comments below. And for those of you add comments, again, thank you. I love hearing your thoughts and thank you for sharing. It means the world to me that you show up each week and give me so much love and support for the Canasta Class channel. It helps the channel grow, and I can continue to give you education and tutorials all about Canasta for free. Thank you. Let's get on with our topic. How to protect the pack. You can pick up the top card of the discard tray if your team has put down their opening initial meld and you have a matching pair in your hand on your turn that matches the top card. You can pick the pack and meld those three cards, the pair in your hand plus the top card. You can also pick the pack on your initial opening meld as long as you have your opening points and requirements without the top card of the pack. When choosing to take the top card, you do not pick from the stockpile, nor do you get a talon if it's your initial opening meld and you're picking the pack. After you put down your meld, you take the entire discard pile and add it to your hand, and you can make additional melds or you can hold it to be able to pick the pack the next hand. You immediately grow a huge hand and make sure there are plenty of cards in the discard pile when you decide to pick it. This is where you have the ability to make melds and score points. Most of the time, the person who picks the pack is the team who traditionally has the most points at the end of that round. Let's talk how you can stop your opponent from getting the pack and how to maintain control. Please keep in mind the size of the pile, what's in the pack, do you need it or do you need to protect it, and the score. Here's how to protect the pack by what you discard on your turn. Number one, you always want to start the game with discarding low cards is a traditional way of how people play. I suggest maybe start with a high single card. People aren't ready to pick the pack on their initial meld within the first couple of turns, so try get rid of some of your high cards that you don't necessarily need. Next would be frequently discarded cards. A card that has been discarded frequently, try to keep track and discard those, so you kind of want to follow suit. A dead card, that would come later on in the game. A dead card is one of a completed canasta and no one can pick the pack with a dead card. What your opponent discarded on your left, a card on your left that your opponent discard, you need to pay attention to what they meld. So if they discard a card, I would keep track of them and keep moving cards in my hand over to the right so that I can remember what would be a safe discard. What your opponent on your left discards in the beginning of the game. So traditionally, you kind of follow suit with your partner, what they're discarding, and then you're like, oh, the opponent on your left just discarded a certain card. You're not always keeping track, but I try my best to keep track of my person on my left at the beginning of the game, what they might have discarded, so that I can again have a discard available. And what they discarded initially, especially before they have their initial opening meld, will be a good indication of what they don't have in their hand. Be careful what they could be doing is baiting, meaning they have a pair in their hand and they're looking to pick the pack. Fifth position is a great discard for you. That means that they have 5 of a rank down. It could be 4 queens and a wild. That is 5. They aren't able to pick the pack because remember, when you pick the pack, you have to take the 2 in your hand plus the 1 that you're picking, which would make 3, and add it. So if they already have 5 down, that would make 8. A card in 5th position would be a great discard to the opponents. Sometimes you can discard aces and 7s. For example, if you have aces down and maybe you have a pair and a wild, maybe you use the ace in your hand as a discard. Again, I would probably use this as a last resort, this one, because I obviously want to try to make my ace melding canasta, but sometimes you're trying to find a safe discard, and that would be 1. You could also discard 7s, but remember you want to hold on to 2 7s, but sometimes you're in a bad place, so at least hold on to 1, and maybe your partner will hold on to 1, so between you, you will have 2. Hopefully they will recognize the position you're in by discarding a 7. And that may not be that you're signaling them that you have 2. You might want to consider a melded card, meaning you might have already put down 3 5s. You know the majority of the 5s are in the deck, so you're going to discard the 4th 5 that's in your hand because you know the other team does not have 5s. It's just an idea on how to protect the pack. A mindful meld, if you have 3 of a rank in your hand and your opponent has 4 melded, think about not melding them and use them as discards. The same goes if you both have 3 down of a rank, so I have 3 queens and my opponent has 3 queens, use your 4th as a discard. Consider making canastas look a little different. Maybe you have kings down and you pick up a king, and that would be your 7th king. Maybe on that meld, you already have 1 wild. There's no reason to add the king. You can add another wild and continue with the mixed meld and still get a canasta. And the king that you have in your hand, you can discard for a safe discard to protect the pack. Sometimes you don't even recognize, there's no need to even worry about the pack. There might be a little pack and they're not going to pick it up, or they might have lots of 7s in theirs or lots of aces that they're not interested in picking up. So there might be a pack that has little interest and you don't have to worry about what you discard to it. The kind of rolls into what's actually in the pack, knowing if the discard pile is going to be worth people picking up. Again, are there too many 7s in there, too many aces, and they're not going to pick it up because you're at the end of the game. So be mindful what's in the pack and what stage of the game you're in. You also want to keep track what was in the pack that was picked up, because sometimes people don't meld everything that was in the pack, and so then the next discard you discard, they pick the pack again, and they continually to pick the pack. So you have to be careful of what you're discarding and try to remember what was in the pile. You are less likely on your next turn to allow them to pick the pack again if you can keep track of that. Your final discard is super important. If you're the last person to pick from the stockpile the final card, be careful of that final discard. Remember, your opponent on your left gets 1 more try to pick the pack, so you still have to be very mindful what you discard. Unfortunately, sometimes you can't avoid letting your opponents pick the pack because you don't have a good card to discard from the ones above. So they get the pack, and that's how the game rolls, sadly. A quick tip, above all, try to remember the cards that have been discarded. Even if you can't remember them all, please try to remember as many as you can. As a reminder, it is very important you always remember how many 7s or aces are in this discard pile. You must not let your opponents make a canasta of either. Hold on to 2 aces and 2 7s as long as you can, or try to understand the person you're partnering with at least if you can hold on to one and they can hold on to the other. They will never be able to get those canastas. You definitely want to always know how many are in the discard pile and be hopeful that your team will make them. So who said canasta is an easy game to learn? But for me, I love the strategy of the game. This is what I enjoy the most, and it changes from each game. Keep in mind these 14 ways to protect the pack from being picked. All that was said was true, but sometimes you just can't help but throw a card and the pile gets taken. There is always a next round or another game to make a different choice. So good luck in protecting the pack. Be sure again to subscribe, and then you can also use this magnifying glass to search any topic or tip or strategy that you're interested in learning more about to become a better canasta player. If you don't see the topic, please send me an email at mahjongclass@yahoo.com or put it in the comments below, and I'll be sure to bring the topic to you on one of our Canasta Class clinics. Let's head on over to Real Canasta and play a round or two to see how we can do in our game with some tips that we've already shared. On Real Canasta, we're going to do new game. We're going to play fast. We're going to have 5 cards of a rank before we can add a wild. You can change this to what your group plays. I'm going to play invisible mode, so we're starting a new game. We're going to sort by suit. And if I had 3s, you would place your 3s out, and I do not, so we're going to pick a card for our turn. We're looking for 125, and always the special hand will be until one of you or your partner opens. It doesn't mean you have a special hand. We're looking for 125, as I mentioned, and we need 3 of a kind. We're not going to use our aces because remember, we don't want to meld them pure unless we can count for all 7 of them. So we're going to discard. I'm going to start, as I mentioned, maybe with a high card. Let's do the 10. Put out your 3, get a new card. Oh, we got another 10, that's funny. Okay, maybe we'll hold on to it and we'll get rid of a 6. You can also make sure you match your partner. My partner did a 7, so she hopefully is holding 7s, but I'm gonna give it a chance and put out the 6. Two 7s. Get rid of that 10 again. Eesh, we need 3 of a kind. Let's get rid of that jack. Lots of 10s in there now. 3 7s. Gonna go with the 8. Let's try the king. My partner's opening. Ooh, we can close those aces. There's 3 7s in there. 4 7s. Let's close those aces. Can't pick the pack yet. My partner's threw out a 4. Okay, the other team is opening. Gonna throw out that 10. Remember, 10s were thrown earlier. A lot of kings were thrown. It's a dangerous card, but I'm going to try it. Bummer. But they have 4 sevens, and he's not going to be able to get rid of them, but they are going to get a lot of canastas. Wow, that was a nice pickup. So it might have been worth it for them to get stuck with the sevens. So they did get the penalty with the sevens. They got negative 1,500, but they still got positive points of 1,975. So for them, I think it was beneficial because I don't think they might have had 1 canasta. We only received 255 because we never got our second canasta. So on to the next game. So we didn't get our 3s. Sort by rank. So you put out a king right away. Yikes. Oh, and they're opening. I put out my 3. Take a card for my turn. We got another 3. They put 9s and 6s. I will try the 6. Next will be the 9. I'm moving it over to the right. Oh good, my partner opened because I was not in the position to open yet. Ooh, 10s. That works out well for us. Gonna go ahead and put out my 10s. Give my partner one more turn in case they picked a 10 in the talon. And I'm gonna get rid of the 9. Very nice. We got a pure canasta. I have a pair of jacks. I can take the jack, but then there's the 9. I'm not really interested in that. Maybe I'll let it go and maybe they'll discard another jack. You can get rid of the 5. They have a bunch of 5s. I'll put out my king and my queen and I'll get rid of the 7. I only want to keep 2. 4s and 8s can be next. Oh good, the jacks. We can make another canasta. Gonna put out my 2 jacks and close them. And the 8s, they have 5, 6, 7. There's only 1 left, so 8s is a good discard. Put out my 4. We got a nice king. And I'm going to get rid of the 8. Put out my ace and can get rid of these 7s. I'm pretty sure my partner has the 7s. I can close those. Oh no, I can't close those aces. I was thinking I can close them, but they already have 2 wilds on them. I'm gonna put out the 7 in case my partner has the 2 7s. They can count them. Yeesh. Now they're only with 1 7. I can close the 8s. Aces. I can close the aces, sorry, and get rid of the 8. It's a nice hand for us. Not able to put the 2 down because we don't have 5 of a rank. Now my partner just gave the other team 7s. They just got 2,500 points. Yikes. They probably have a wild in their hand too. We kind of left ourselves with wilds in our hand. They still got negative 1,500 points, but they got the 2,500 points. So they had a gain of 1,000 points. That was a nice hand for them. It was a really nice hand for us. We got 3,000 points. They are at 155 as well as us for the next round. Oh, they're already opening with, oh, look at all those wilds. Bummer. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh, maybe we could play pairs hand. Okay, any of these cards are open because the other person hasn't even gone yet, so I have no idea what they have in their hand. I'm going to just start with the 6. Probably the 9 next. Okay, they're discarding 4s. The 9. Oh, 5 they got rid of. Go with the 5. And then maybe the 6. Nice. Good for them. That's big points. Getting rid of the 9s. Get rid of a 6. Oh, all these 3s. Be nice to be able to cover them. We need 1 canasta. I feel like they're going to go out before we even get it. We need an ace and a 7. I haven't seen any of those. More wilds. We have 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40. We don't have enough. Decisions, decisions. Guess I'll let the 7 go. It's 1 7, I think. I don't think there's any others in there. Another queen. 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. We're 5 points short. Let's try an ace. Oh, we could also go for a special hand of zip code. Ah, we got the other ace. Yikes, we could have went for zip code. Zip code would mean we need a king, an 8, or a 4 to get 3 of a kind. And we did not get it. That's a bummer. That was a hard hit. 930 points negative. They're at 180 now. We're back down to 125. Maybe this will be our hand. Or game. We'll see how this plays out. Put out your 3s. Take a new card for your turn. And let's get rid of... They're going to be throwing low cards. We only need 125. Let's get rid of the jack. Well, that was the quickest game we've ever played. Ouch. So they got 10,625 and we got 1,680. That was terrible. Just goes to show you the cards, how they're dealt. They got this hand. They didn't even, I think they take 1 turn. So they got zip code, which is 4 of a kind. They had 4 2s, 3 of a kind, 3 of a kind, and 2 pairs. Let's play one more game. We got to redeem ourselves. Put out your 3s. Pick a card for your turn. And let's get rid of a 5. Put out your 3. And I'll get rid of a 5 again. Hold on to that 9. Crazy with the wilds that other team gets. They just opened. That's crazy. I feel like any card I discard, they're going to pick up. So we have 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10. I'm going to get rid of the 6. Oh, 6s were good to discard. My partner's opening. That's exciting. Maybe we can pick the pack. We're not a good matchup. I don't have anything that she just put out. I'm going to get rid of these 6s. That's 1 ace. Two aces. Bummer. An 8. We don't want that 8. Okay, I'm going to put my queens out. I do have 4 of them in hopes that my partner maybe has 1 or 2 and we could try to make a canasta. 6s, 4s, and jacks don't have. I do have 9s, but they might pick the pack, but there is only 1 card there. Wow, look at the pure canastas. Oh, she had queens. An ace, we don't want it. I'm gonna close the queens. I'll put out my little 5 and get rid of the 9. Three aces or 4 aces. I'm gonna hold on to mine. This is decision. I'll try the king. Wow, the aces might be in there. I'm gonna put out my 3 10s and I'm gonna get rid of the king. Wow, all the aces are in there. I can close the 8s. We got our second canasta, which is beautiful. We have all of these 3s. We have 1,000 points in 3s. I'm going to get rid of the king. I could get rid of the ace actually because they only have 1 card. So let's get rid of the ace. We got 1,920. That was a good hand for us. They got 3,580 because they got the Wilds canasta of 2,000 points. On to the next hand. We're at 125, they're at 155, so hopefully I have a chance to open. Put out your 3s, pick a new card. My partner got rid of a 5. I'll go ahead and match them and get rid of a 5. Now we have 4s. My partner threw a 4, but I'm going to do a 6. I want to keep my 4s. My partner is opening. 6s, 9s, and jacks. We have jacks and 1 9. I can go ahead and put my jacks out because I can close them. I will give my partner 1 turn to make sure she didn't pick 1 in the talon. I'll put out my 9, and I think at this point, they're not even open yet. They're not going to throw me a king. I'm going to discard a king. I got another king. Let's maybe give a king again. Don't have a 9. Hoping they'll discard a 4 or an 8. There you go. I'm going to take the pack. We need some points here. Let's close out those 4s, make a canasta. Our 6s. Put out our 5s. You know, we have 2 canastas now. I'm going to put everything out I can. I'm going to put out my kings and my queens. And I think I'm going to get rid of, I can't get rid of jacks. I can't get rid of 6s just yet because they're dead cards. I'm going to get rid of a 10. And then I can always add my 2 onto the 9. And I can now discard the jacks. They're a dead card. I don't have anything to add over here. I can't add a wild until we have 5 of a rank. And then we have 2 wilds. 8s are dead also, I think. Oh no, 8s have in 5th position. We can get rid of 8s next because they can't pick the pack. 10s are dead also. Oh, we got a 5 and I can close those 5s. Let's get rid of a 10. Oh, and I could put out my 3 8s just for extra points. Pick a card. 10s are closed. Ended up being a nice game for us. We got 2,620. They got 1,680. We are at 155 and they are at 180. Pretty close game. Hopefully we can open before them. I don't know, with these low cards, I'm going to get 155. Ah, all low cards. I'm going to get rid of a 7. It's 2 7s. My partner was discarding 5s. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of a 5. That's 3 7s. Good for them. They got 2,500 for the zip code hand, which is 4 3 3 pair pair. We just didn't have enough. We had 140, and if I had a clean triple, I might have tried to open with wilds, but usually I don't do it with 4. And then my partner only had 1 wild. It wouldn't have worked. Let's try the next round. We're still in it to win it. Until that fat lady sings, right? And that hasn't happened yet. That's not a really nice quote, I guess, but in an opera, that's who singing, right? Okay, we're back to 155. They're at 180. Let's get rid of some of these low cards to try to help us get higher points for 155. Here's our clean triple, but we need some more pairs. Let's get rid of the 10. Yeesh. 1 7. 2 sevens. Still need one more pair to be able to use our wilds. 3 sevens. Okay, we have 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30. I'll get rid of the 8. Maybe I should have got rid of the queen. Yikes, that's a good hand. Nice pickup for picking the pack. They've got everything practically. An 8. 8s are dead. Oh, that's terrible. We're not doing too good today with some of our canastas. We don't have any. Oh, I'm defeated. That's 2 games. Even if we played a third, it's still they won 2 games. So congratulations to the other team. Obviously today they were the better team and it just happens to be that way. But I thought we played some good games and it was fun and enjoyable. Thank you for being here, and I'm here next week again on a new topic. Send me your topics of choice and I'll be happy to do a video on them. I also have Mahjong class, which is on Tuesdays at 6:30, but I'll see you next week for Canasta class at 6:30. Thanks for joining and always being supportive. I love that you're here each week. Thank you. Be sure to give thumbs up. Have a great week, everyone. Bye-bye.